my name is Annie House. Welcome to my fun and easy tutorials where I teach you to make jewelry using top quality products. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to work with Luxe Resin. This is a step to show you how to make a finished piece like this. This is a wood circle that has decorative Italian paper on it with a nice coating of Luxe Resin. In this process, I have used Glamour Seal to protect my papers and to glue the paper to the wood, and Luxe Resin. To prepare my piece that I'm going to coat, I've taken my 1-inch wood square, some Italian paper, I glued it together with the Glamour Seal, I trimmed around the back with my X-Acto blade, and when I had my finished piece, I brushed on the Glamour Seal and allowed that to dry. So this is the end result that you're going to start that you'll have prepared ready for working with Luxe Resin. Here I'll show you how to make a finished piece like this wood round with Italian paper that's been coated with Luxe Resin. To get to this process, you want to take your wood piece, apply some Glamour Seal to the wood, and you don't have to use the Italian paper. It's just what I'm using for right now. You can do the same step with your inkjet prints. So you can use your own images. You take the wood and you press it down onto the paper. You're just trying to remove all the bubbles. And when that's dry, you'll take your blade and you will trim around all of the edges. I have already done this with this piece here. I have coated the top already with Glamour Seal that I brushed on, and I allowed that to dry. So at this step we are ready to use my already mixed Luxe Resin, which I will then take and drop a little bit on at a time, and I will usually do about 2 of these drops for a 1-inch square. Too much of this and it will flow off the top, and I like to work with my Luxe Resin a little cooler. So I'll reduce the temperature from the 80s, which is my preferred mixing temperature, and take it down to somewhere in the 70s. I have a complete written tutorial on this resin process on my website, www.anniehouse.com. That's also where you can purchase all of these products. So I'm adding a little more resin to it and coaxing the resin up to the sides, and you can see how brilliant the colors become once the resin is applied. And then I will take this coated piece, inspect it pretty thoroughly to make sure I've reached all the edges. At this point I can add little glass beads if I would like, which are included in the kit. So I'm using a toothpick to move the resin around to the sides to make sure I have it covered. And like I said, this is self-leveling resin, so any lumps that you may see will disappear as the resin begins to cure. And I will check for bubbles, and if I do see any, I'll use my flame and I will quickly go over the top just to burst any bubbles that may be there. Again, I don't want to leave the flame on the resin too long, or it will scorch and then I'll end up with a blackened surface on the resin. I've never had the resin catch on fire. Don't worry about that. You only want to just lightly pop those bubbles and you'll watch them pop, and it's kind of fun to watch. Once you have finished your piece, you discard your used resin, You can't save resin. It continues to cure chemically over time. You can put it in a bottle and it will still cure and harden. So to prevent any inclusions inside of your piece, you're going to want to cover this with some, you can use a solo cup or plastic cup or plasticware. Cover it to protect from any particles, lint, dog hair, pet hair, cat hair, from embedding in the resin. Allow it to cure. The resin takes 24 hours to cure to touch, and by that I mean it's still somewhat soft, but you're not going to be able to leave a fingerprint in it. 48 hours, the product is ready to be used or worn gently. You can, if you're making these to sell, then you can certainly ship them at that time. It will continue to harden for 7 days. You can speed cure the resin if you're in a hurry. If you put it in an oven for an hour, 60 minutes at 150 degrees Fahrenheit, your work will be completely cured after 1 hour. These are examples of the next project that we're going to do, and these are finished pendant trays with Luxe Resin that has been colored with the Color Effects pigments. What we have, we've already mixed our Luxe Resin. We have our pendant tray. We have it leveled on a surface, and we have a bottle of Color Effects liquid pigment for Luxe Resin. The ratio you want is no more than 10%, and you can be scientific about this, or you can just put a little dab in there. Right now I'm just going to put some in to show you. Some of these are a little thicker, some are a little thinner. That's a very small amount of resin in this, or of liquid pigment in this resin, and I will mix this around the same way that I mixed the resin to begin with, not wanting to introduce too many bubbles. So you can see that small amount of pigment really darkened up this resin. This pigment is a translucent. I have opaque and translucent colors. The opaque makes a more solid color, and the translucent allows you to see through it somewhat. So I am going to discard this stick, or at least wipe it off, because I have some pigment on it. And I want an even mix, so I can just wipe that off. And then you can prepare the inside of your pendant tray however you want, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I have left it blank. I can always come back and put, if I want to put crystals on top, or if I want to put inclusions inside, I can do that as well. So I've put about 3 drops of this in there. And then I just want to see how it self-levels. It's already reached every edge, every part of the pendant tray. And now I can allow that to cure. And this one used an opaque as well as this piece, but you can see that is a beautiful color. These pigments are also mixable, so you can get a custom mix in your colors depending on your taste. All of these products and links to other fun tutorials are available on my website at anniehouse.com.